Have you ever seen those videos and they're like, this free game is amazing. Oh, you've got to check it out. It's so good. And then you check it out and it's bollocks. Well, there's one person who is absolutely almost famous for doing this. His name is Math Chief, and I do love his stuff, but it always makes me chuckle when I read the titles. Anyway, so I was like, this free game is amazing. So I checked it out, and it was a game called Boundary. Anyway, in this video, I'm not going to pull the wool over your eyes. I'm going to give you some quite honest feedback on what I thought of Boundary. It is a bit of an odd place at the moment, because this is a game that is currently free at the moment, and I didn't hate it. I played it for over 3 hours, but at the same time, I think the moment they put a price tag on it, I'm probably going to be like, I'm just not interested in it anymore. So it's probably best to start at the beginning. So Boundary is basically a multiplayer tactical shooter in space. And the direct translation of that is it's COD in space. So there are elements of like hero shooteriness. You can have different spacemen. They have different weapons assigned to them. But like COD, you get more XP for that class. Then you can unlock different attachments for the weapons. And I didn't get to unlock the other two, but basically there's like an assault class, a heavy defense class, and a medic class. And each of the classes, they have their own special abilities. So the assault class is this big Russian guy. You start off with an AK, you get a missile launcher and an EMP launcher. They also have passive systems. I never actually found out what the passive did for the assault class. It was like, this is Russian guy and he's really good with AKs. And honestly, I think it just meant that he has an AK in space. So there are two modes to it. There is this kind of like tactical mode where you shoot each other and it's a bit like CS in space, and the other one was the domination mode, which has respawns and appealed to me a lot more. So starting at the beginning, in terms of performance, I couldn't fault it. It ran really well on my system. And in terms of actual looks, it looked like Battlefield 3. It wasn't breathtakingly beautiful, but it wasn't hideous either. So I was just kind of okay with it, and I was more interested in the kind of game mechanics, to be honest. So, like in space, you can't hear any bullet sounds. You have a radar system that will flag people red if they're shooting at you or if you shoot them long enough. It wasn't exactly clear what the criteria for turning someone bright red, but if you shot enough bullets at them, they would flag up, and it would just make it easier for you to hit them. Now, when you're floating through space, you kind of like have that kind of gravity acceleration. You get some thruster packs. You can go up, down, and then you can turn your position of view 360 as well. So you have full access to the X, Y, and Z axes. Now, personally, I didn't really get on with the fact that I could spin 360 and just found myself just staying at one plane. And even though I saw a few people trying to do it and get into different positions, it really honestly didn't make all that much difference. It just got shot and died. So for an alpha demo, it was really well polished and it ran really smoothly. The issue is, it's just not that revolutionary. Apart from it being in space, it is literally just COD in space. You're just shooting weapons with a bigger bullet drop and thematics of being in space. Even when you get double kills, assists, all those kind of things, the symbols that pop up are all exactly the same as COD. It just feels like this is Activision's stepchild that it doesn't talk about. It's neither bad nor good, but at the same time, it's just like, why would I play this? Now, I know you can argue that, well, COD isn't in space and it's a shooter in space, and the level design was very, very good. I mean, it had great space station thematics, and I really did feel like I was an astronaut floating around. But the problem is, I've played so many COD-like games, and I've played so many hero shooters, I don't know if it just being in space is enough for me to go and play it. Like, it's got progression systems, and it's got skins for your astronaut. I'm going to presume that there's going to be skins for your weapons later on, and there's going to be more heroes, spacemen for you to play around with. But I just feel like I've already done this. And as I mentioned, I can't find anything about this being free to play anywhere, so I'm going to presume that there is going to be an upfront cost to it as well. I just don't think it's enough to be okay. And I really do think this game is going to suffer because of that. I don't know, maybe I'm being biased because space games generally don't appeal to me anyway. And maybe there's a whole group of you out there who absolutely love things in space and love flying around and shooting each other. But zero gravity isn't one of those mechanics that I open the game, it's like, oh my god, holy shit, why did no one ever think of this before? You look at Splitgate, for example. Splitgate is just bloody Halo and Unreal Tournament combined together, and then they threw in Portals. And that was it. Because Portals was such a cool, novel thing, it's like, well, yeah, I will go check this out. It's got all the things that I love, but whoa, this seasoning that they've put in here, this is top notch. And I almost feel bad making this video because these guys aren't bad people. I've gone through their Twitter feed, they seem on the ball and a nice bunch. But I feel like I'm throwing them into the gaming equivalent of the friend zone at the moment. It's not you, Boundary. I just don't have a place for space games in my heart right now. I mean, this game is in early access and it's an alpha, so it's probably got lots and lots of room for improvement, and maybe they tweak things and change things, and maybe the game will evolve from here and it will be something different in a few months' time, or, a year down the line. But unfortunately, I just think everyone who's going to be talking about this is just going to refer to it as, oh yeah, that game COD in Space, which I'm pretty sure as a game is trying to carve its own identity, certainly doesn't want to be bastardized along with all the Activision stuff. Anyway, let me know what you think. Do you think this game is going to be really successful? Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think I'm being unfair? Let me know. But until then, I'll be back with more gaming reviews. There's about 1 billion demos at the moment, so expect a lot more. And have a great week.